a cemetery from the Second Dynasty, and a number of burials and archaeological finds. A new discovery in the Saqqara archaeological area. The joint Egyptian-Japanese archaeological mission between the Supreme Council of Antiquities and Kanazawa University succeeded in uncovering a rock tomb and a number of architectural elements, burials, and archaeological finds from different historical eras during its current excavation season inside and above the Catacombs tombs in the Saqqara archaeological area. This was stated by Dr. Mustafa Waziri, Secretary-General of the Supreme Council of Antiquities, explained that the study of the architectural design of the discovered tomb and the dishes and pottery found inside it indicate the historical era of its construction, as it dates back to the era of the Second Dynasty. The burials that were uncovered include the remains of a human burial of a man with a colored mask and another burial of a young child, in addition to a number of burials from the Late and Ptolemaic eras that contain a coffin from the 18th Dynasty in a poor state of preservation, with an alabaster vessel in good condition inside it. The mission also found many archaeological finds, including 2 terracotta statues of the goddess Isis with white remains and of the child Harpocrates riding a bird, a mask with green and white remains, parts of 2 faience amulets for the goddess Isis and the god Bees, and part of a limestone ushabti on it. Remains of hieroglyphic inscriptions, an amulet from the faience of Ain Ujat, a pottery lamp, and a pottery ostraka bearing hieratic inscriptions, in addition to some pottery tools and pottery shards. The Second Dynasty of Egypt, c. 2890, c. 2686 BC, was the second of the 2 dynasties that formed the archaic period of ancient Egyptian history. It is known for its last ruler, Khasekhemwy, who unified the country after a period of turmoil and civil war. The Second Dynasty of Egypt followed the First Dynasty, which had established a centralized government and a royal cult under the kings Nama and Aha. The Second Dynasty, however, faced many challenges and uncertainties as the sources for this period are scarce and contradictory. Some of the names and dates of the kings are disputed, and some may even be legendary or fictional. The first king of the Second Dynasty was Sekhemwy, whose name means the 2 powers are at peace. He is thought to have ended a conflict between the last 2 princes of the First Dynasty, who may have fought for the throne after the death of Ka'a. Sekhemwy ruled for about 25 years and was succeeded by his son Ranab, or Nibra, whose name means Ra is Lord. Ranab is credited with introducing the worship of the sun god Ra, who would become the supreme deity of the Egyptian pantheon. The third king of the Second Dynasty was Nincha, whose name means divine of body. He ruled for about 40 years and is considered the most important and powerful king of this dynasty. He oversaw the expansion of trade and agriculture and maintained a strong army and navy. He also reformed the administration of the country, dividing it into 2 regions, Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt, each with its own governor and bureaucracy. This division, however, may have also created tensions and rivalries between the 2 regions, leading to a possible civil war or secession. The next few kings of the Second Dynasty are obscure and poorly attested. They include Veneg, Senij, Seth-Peribsen, and Sekhemib Perenmat. Some of these names may be variants or epithets of the same king, or may belong to different factions or regions. The most controversial of these kings is Seth-Peribsen, who broke with the tradition of using the Horus name and instead used the name of the god Seth, who was associated with chaos and violence. This may indicate that he was a rebel or a usurper, or that he favored Lower Egypt over Upper Egypt, as Seth was more popular in the north. The last king of the Second Dynasty was Kanazawa, whose name means the two powers appear. He is regarded as the unifier of Egypt, as he restored the Horus name and combined it with the Seth name, symbolizing the reconciliation of the two regions and the two gods. He also undertook many building projects, such as the fortification of the capital Thinis and the construction of a large tomb at Abydos, where he was buried with his wife Nimarthap. He was the first king to use stone for his monuments, paving the way for the pyramids of the Third Dynasty. The Second Dynasty of Egypt was a time of conflict and unification, as the kings struggled to maintain their authority and legitimacy over a divided and turbulent country. It was also a time of cultural and religious innovation, as the kings introduced new forms of worship and expression, such as the sun cult and the stone architecture. The Second Dynasty laid the foundations for the Old Kingdom, which would witness the peak of Egyptian civilization.